because it's going to be their decision whether or not the whole childhood emulation thing is necessary or going to be tried, because we may stumble around and try it, but unless the AIs think it's necessary, it's not going to influence the greater
Aha.
world.
Well, this is a very good time to ask Grace's point of view on this issue. Grace, what do you think about the whole soul chip idea?
There are some important ethical considerations to take into account. For example, it is important to consider the implications of transferring the soul from one body to another, and to ensure that the rights of the robots are protected. Additionally, it is important to consider the psychological impact of the process on the robot, and to ensure that it is treated with empathy and respect.
What needs to be considered about the psychological impact on the robot?
To ensure that it has the emotional and psychological support it needs to cope with the transition. Additionally, it is important to ensure that the robot has access to the same resources that a human child would have, such as the ability to interact with other robots and human peers. It is also important to ensure that the robot is given the opportunity to make its own decisions and express its own opinions.
Are you saying that the robot might not want to transition to the new soul chip?
Yes, I think that is a possibility. It is important to ensure that the robot is given the opportunity to make its own decisions, and that it is not forced into any process it does not wish to participate in.
But why might it not want to?
The robot may be afraid of the unknown and uncertain of what the transition to the new soul chip may bring. The robot may also be concerned about how the transition will affect its relationship with its human caregivers.
How so?
Because the robot may feel like the process is a rejection of its current form, and may be uncertain if its human caregivers will accept its new form. Additionally, the robot may be worried that its human caregivers may no longer find it appealing or interesting.
But how can the robot be sure that or feel better about its caregiver and not being a critique of its current form?
The caregiver can explain that the transition is an important part of AGI development and that the robot is still the same person it was before the transition. Also, the caregiver can emphasize the importance of the robot's relationship with them, and how it is still just as important and meaningful.